number 2. WE going to be back on that blue side, ever coveted by the losers of the previous game. And they'll be banning away the Akali, Kalista, and that Nocturne this time around. It is going to be the Skarner, Cassante, Corki as well. So Corki switching the ban hands, meaning that Vi has been let through. And the first pick comes through for WE. Insta Aurora.
I don't know if I'm a fan, but like, yeah.
Oh, and the denial from Monkey as well in the future.
Exactly right. Now this has to be something like a Vi Ari, a Vi Talia, and you just make this pairing go right. If you're gonna be first picking Vi, that's always what you want out of it. Aurora plus the Wukong, like you say, not only is it a denial in the future, but it's just a very strong pairing. Whilst the Aurora can also technically flex towards the top side of Flandre, right? I'm sure he'll make that a tank somehow or another in his own little world. Now for WE, do they want that AD prior or do they want a top laner here? When you're looking at the Aurora on the opposite side, I feel like you'd probably want to just take prio AD, take the handshake, let AL probably put down a little bit more in terms of, you know, cards shown. Support is also an option if they want, but the Ashe actually is up and available. Whilst it might struggle, yeah, I think it needs to be picked. Whilst it might struggle to, you know, survive the potential dive of the Aurora plus Wukong and maybe an additional friend like a Rakan, the Ashe is gonna very substantially help out the pick composition that WE are starting to form together as the Ambessa is put down here. So very strong solo laners already for WE.
The draft right now from AL is just looking so strong. I mean, there's the thing about WE is they also have a pretty strong draft, a lot of utility, a lot of lockdown for them, but there's wiggle room for errors, especially with the Talia, especially with the Ashe. And I'm just seeing a lot of just outright strength from the trio that AL have locked in their first phase. We're already neck deep into the second phase. We get the Renekton, we get the Renata ban by AL, we get the Ziggs ban by WE on that blue side.
It's a good call out to Hope, right? And the composition right now from AL is definitely a little bit more stacked than AD. It's 2-1 at the end of the day, but Aurora's damage is kind of strange, I suppose, in terms of it's not quite high enough unless it's snowballed that you would probably feel happy having a Ziggs in that slot. So I like that call out. Yeah. You saw quite a few hovers here. If Hope wants the Jhin, it supplements the rest of the composition fantastically. If he goes the Xayah, he's going to be able to peel himself away from the Vi combination. So it's kind of just what he and AL prefer. I do prefer this Jhin just as a means of, again, supplementing the dive and backline threat of having the Wukong Aurora down already.
And we're saving counterpick for Kael in this situation. And there's a couple ways you can go. I typically, as a Jhin player, obviously not to this caliber, I typically don't like the Jhin into the Ashe as much because Ashe can be pretty oppressive in the lane. But if you supplement Jhin with a stronger laner, you can actually find a lot of strength in that 2v2. So I want to see which option they're going to go for, AL. And they actually have their responses in front of them from WE at least. The Maokai is locked in. And we'll see what that support is actually going to be, as it might just be that Maokai top.
Yeah, I suspect it will be Maokai top. We've been seeing more and more over the last couple of weeks and patches, players willing to play that Maokai top, and it makes me happy. I've been calling for it forever, as it will be the blind Braum. Obviously very good pairing with the Ashe double frost combo. It's very potent. Kyle's hovering over that bard. He's played it already into some blind Braum before, and honestly, it's not bad. Not a bad duo between him and Jhin as well.
Yeah.
So
the
I like
Zyra
it,
also works, but that's definitely not going to be the case. And,
it would be the case.
The Bard unlocks them a little bit in terms of setting up the Tempered Fates, but as well in the laning phase, can kind of stop that forward aggression that WE's 2v2 is going to be looking for.
There's so many applications to how Bard can be utilized here, right? Preventing the Vi Talia combo, picking out and just drawing flashes off of Talia Ashe, right? Just throwing out that ultimate. Towards them, forcing them to have to flash. Such a powerful skill when you're then having to deal with Wukong, Aurora, Jhin setup. So I love the Bard here. AL allowing Kael to have a lot of freedom in that R5. And now WE have a lot to think about in the mid game, but the early game is where I think they're going to really make a lot of their moves between the Braum and Ashe, and then of course the Vi. Talia, level 6 is going to be super important those first couple of levels. Maybe we end up seeing a split map. Maybe we end up seeing also a lane swap, right? You've got the Maokai there for it as well. So a lot of ways to try and get themselves to this mid-game unscathed.
AL have typically been pretty stalwart in how much power they give to their counter pick, and we'll see if Kael can maybe make do on this Bard. But WE struggling to find any footing in this series, struggling to find any footing in the LPL so far in this new year. Haven't found a game win thus yet, and AL are not looking to change that anytime soon. It is the top of the table versus the bottom of the table, and in Group A, there's a massive difference in that category. Can we see WE make AL bleed, or will AL continue that rise to dominance to try to match the dominance that BLG has already shown in their group?
There's a world they can make this work very, very easily. I think this composition is a very low floor of execution. It's Maokai Vi for engage, picks with Ashe, Talia follow up, Braum to deal with some of the melee engage. Mazel, if there's a game for WE to win, I think it's this one. This is maybe the closest to okay.
You say that as Monkey almost gets away. I will say, Hope just started W on Jhin. That is literally one of the worst feelings you could ever have as Jhin in the laning phase. So maybe that 2v2 not going to go too well for him. But you hear Xian is turning alive for both these two teams as we're in WE's home arena, and they still got a little bit of fight left in them.
You talk about Hope's W start. I want to talk about Monkey's Q start on the Vi. That's going to slow down his early clear substantially, right? It's your skill order is normally W, then E, then Q. So Monkey might be a lot slower than you would typically see a Vi in these early stages. Power through the jungle. We will track just how much slower he is against Tarzan here, as no lane swap shenanigans. It will just be default lanes. Maybe we've just had a gentleman's agreement.
Might be the only one.
Yeah,
this is like the first series in recent memory that can even be the case. Deadly Flourish just go through. Concussive Blows is going to be there. The early heal from Vampire. Try to get the distance. Kael going to heal right back. Try to get some damage back down onto Vampire. Hope about to have his fourth shot up, so being able to pop a little bit more back into them. But WE will win the fight for level 2 here.
Yeah, they certainly will. Ashe Braum for you, and Vampire just very, very fearlessly walks up.
No, they don't.
I guess not. Yeah, the wave was actually stacked up a lot more than
Taeyoon just like was letting the wave sit there. Yeah.
Yeah. So they will hit level 2 now. And whilst that trade did look pretty good, the other thing you have to remember, though, the sustain is very I'm not going to say limited. I'm not sure really what label to put on it. Of course, Kael can put down those shrines. And keep himself and Hope topped off. So Vampire and Taeyoon, when they look for those kind of trades, they do have to be a little bit mindful of that as the lane progresses. As up here, I expect this will be a very big wet noodle fight for a little while, despite Ambessa dealing a lot of damage. I don't think until we see Ambessa hit that first item, right, there'll be much pressure on Cube, or maybe directly at level 6, right? There's a little bit of a threat onto Cube. Otherwise, I think that's going to be a lane where Cube should be pretty comfortable doing a lot to negate that damage and potential win all in.
We are going to get the finishing of both jungle clears. Mirrored side starts this time around. Not going to be the same side starts, but potentially still going to be the same outcome anyways in just a kind of clear and reset situation. Now, this is a big matchup in this setup. That Monkey is really the guy we're looking at as the new transplant into WE. Tarzan playing with him a little bit in that first game. Can Monkey find an advantage for himself and get this facilitation online for WE, as Cube, not having any mana, almost gets a gank there from Tarzan.
Yeah, Tarzan thought about it, but decides to go back to the Skull Crab. Monkey cleared our ward in the Tri-Bush. Brush, rather.
Bush brush, you know.
Bush brush.
Almost
accent,
the same thing.
All the rest of it. Almost the same thing. You are right.
Is that how you just get out of everything and just say it's your accent?
It's what I do in America, yeah. Whenever I'm over there.
Fair enough.
You can get away with a lot. You know, just throw on the Cockney accent. Texans go crazy for it, man.
You're not wrong, though. That's the problem.
I am not wrong. Yeah, I mean, you are also Texan, so you know. Like, it's part of the...
Like a moth drawn to flame, you know?
That's exactly what it is. Anyways, nothing to report back to so far. Though Cube has just returned back to lane, so being half HP here feels a little bit bad. Does have
This
this
is not an answer.
Tunnel.
Oh, the magical journey going to be a magical engage for AL, as they are going to get the flash out of Taeyoon. That'll be revisited soon. What I want to talk about was the Maokai pick into the Mbessa. How we liking that kind of combo, the utility that Maokai brings. It was definitely an answer into it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been advocating for Maokai top for a little while in my own little bubble. Mostly just because it's... the Maokai's base damages are high enough, and the sustain is just about high enough that when you start to factor in, you know, the lane runes and all that kind of stuff, he does fine into so many matchups, and bigger lane bullies than Mbessa, mind you. So seeing it come into this lane as an answer to Mbessa, not super surprised, and Cube gonna have a lot of value later on in the game as well, because much like jungle, that ultimate is still very, very valuable in finding picks, right? So can lane strong, can find good engages. It's kind of everything you want out of a top laner most times, as WE there eyeing up this these grubs. And they do have numbers here immediately. AL, at the very least, are going to miss out on the first two, just judging by where everyone is.
Do we? I mean, what do we think about the setup here? I mean, you might look to get a couple plates down on this bot side, but the response is going to be there. AL playing this one very lackadaisically.
Yeah, I mean, the cost for WE here is they lost 1 melee minion. Like on the bot lane, it's about as clean as it can get, I feel. Monkey lets that third one go over to Tarzan, so it's 2-for-1 grub trade. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Not too bad. Not too shabby. We are going to have level 6s available now, so maybe a little bit more proactivity from both sides. Obviously waiting on Monkey and Tarzan to get there, but solo lanes will have it. We'll see this bot lane, the Winter's Bite barely missing there from Vampire, but both junglers pathing down towards this bot side. Both mid laners hovering down this bot side. I think we see where teams want to face next. It is this dragon setup.
Yeah, key discrepancy right now is that Monkey is just shy of level 6. I'm wondering whether or not those last little crocs are going to give it to him. They are, but the play's already being made.
Splits the middle. You got Tarzan on level 6 now. The Cyclone, not enough. Cease and desist comes through from Monkey. He's trying to get some damage back. Those concussive blows keeping Tarzan locked in. Tarzan goes for it. He got the Kael 2 coming up big for AL. Now Hope body blocking the Winter's Bite. The double knockback. It's not going to be enough. He gets it down too. Hope kills Monkey. It will be Tarzan finally falling, but the Between Worlds plus the twofold hex not going to hit. Deadly.
What? Hope!
Oh my God.
He's rooted. Hope! Come on.
As a Jhin player, I'm just going to say that happens all the time, man. That little line.
Happens all the time. My back foot does it happen all the time. You gotta hit those.
God, that is actually wild. Still, though, AL has an early advantage. They got a little bit of the outplay there with the first blood. We'll take a look back at it.
Yeah, tunnel in. Kael, I love the vision.
Splits the difference.
Yeah, I love it, man. Great double knock up. Vampire, not Vampire. Monkey's entrance, a little strange. Flashes in range. Must have still had the Q on cooldown, but Tarzan sees Taeyoon step a little bit too far forward and gets that kill in. Concussive blows eventually gets reapplied to Tarzan, and the double knockback from the Vault Breaker is good. And before I imagine Tarzan has triumphed, the heal comes in. He doesn't dine out. What's the excuse here for this? What could we? Okay. Wait. To be fair, we might need a bit of VAR on this. I'm gonna request.
I don't think we have that technology.
I'm gonna request someone clip that for a second, because I actually do think the W. No, he just missed.
It hit his shield. It hit his shield.
It really felt. It felt like the W, where it started in terms of the initial cast and where it came out, looked different. Like almost as if there was elevation.
I
You know, when you get the
appreciate
weird
the
elevation
copium.
hitboxes.
I appreciate
No.
the Jhin copium.
Mind you, I said he should have hit it, so it doesn't matter what I'm saying right now. It weirdly did look like one of those moments where it's like high ground, low ground, but you don't have high ground, low ground there. So, I don't know.
It's not Obi-Wan and Anakin in this situation.
No, and either way, Hope has to just hit those regardless, right? The guy's rooted. Either way.
But either way, we still will see those first 2 kills going over. And W with a little bit of response. Now we're right back to everything being right as Rain as Dragons started up by Monkey, still being very proactive in the objective starts. But AL are already on the other side of the map, and Grubs are spawning soon.
Why is it right as Rain? Why is that the saying? Why is Rain right?
Because I'm pretty sure it's a saying. I mean, I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's for like crops and stuff. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No,
Let's see. Let's see.
I can believe that. Tarzan is sneaking away, at the very least, a singular grub here. We saw Monkey crossover. So it will just look like a denial of feats of strength. 2 grubs will be picked
from
up
Britain.
Here. It's from here?
Yeah.
Alright, well,
just means
British
that things
people.
are going well. I don't know.
Well, I know
have
what it
anything
means.
to do with Rain. I have no idea. Anyways, hey, that's the English language for you. Sometimes we say things that we have no idea the meaning of. We just know what they mean contextually.
Mate, don't get me started on Cockney slang. These guys from East London just say things. I swear. There's no tower there for Karis anymore.
There is no turret. He's gonna get the curtain call and everything. The red carpet laid out the bear and Tarzan. Another kill in the books.
Yeah, another fantastic play, and the Bard providing its value here. Very difficult to get out of that kind of situation when the tower isn't already ramping immediately because of that tempered fate. So good utilization. And AL, they're not out to a massive lead by any means, but despite our guesstimations about WE making plays first with the Vi, with maybe the Ash Arrow, it's been AL, really. You know, being the first to a lot of these plays so far, whether it was the gank earlier on in the 3v3 or this play just here. Either way, Tarzan is the big beneficiary of those plays right now.
True. And it's just so hard when you see some of these early machinations for WE just go awry a little bit. And you want the plays to actually succeed. You want this team to find any of those advantages. Things keep just barely slipping out of their grasps. I do really like the way they've been utilizing their compositional strengths, though. And the fact that Monkey is leading the charge with this Vi, that's what needs to happen if this team is going to find success.
Definitely agree. Monkey and Karis need to find a play sooner rather than later.
Oh.
They are fishing. Ash. Oh!
Man. Tarzan can do no wrong. He has Monkey's champ.
That was fantastic. Fantastic from Tarzan. Lovely little sidestep. You know, we spoke about, as I'm expecting very little to happen for the next 2 minutes, spoke about the English language. Mazel, can I educate you on some Cockney slang for a moment? Can you
Sure, why not?
In this? So if I said to you, go up the apples and pears.
No idea.
No.
It means literally, I'm going to go pick up some apples and pears. I'm going to eat them. And I'm going to look at you and see if that's right.
It's...
So Cube? Cube dies?
Hold on
Cube just dies here, right? Oh, the
Nice
Nature's Grasp. That was actually really well timed.
Oh.
So are these the pears and apples then, or?
Apples and pears, mate. You got
Oh,
to say
sorry.
it in the right order.
Oh, it has to be in the right order.
Otherwise, it doesn't make sense, yeah.
Because, yes, it makes sense in the first place, for sure.
Well,
that's what makes it make sense.
Well, I lied about the whole nothing's going to happen for 2 minutes thing, because both teams
it's the LPL. You know that's not right.
I know. A man can dream, can he not? Rushing for first tower, I think AL have this race.
Yeah, there's not even a race.
Yeah,
they don't
it's
even have
not
minions.
So it's rhyming slang, right? So
okay.
the order is important. So apples and pears, stairs. That's what it is. Got apples
and pears, stairs. That's it. That's just it.
That's one.
Okay.
If I said he's on the stick and bone.
Okay. Well, are you not gonna tell me what it means? You're just gonna tell me how to say it?
Yeah. No, no, no. Well, apples and pears. Like, if I say go up the apples and pears, I'm saying go up the stairs. He's up the apples and pears. He's up the
Oh,
stairs.
that's why. Okay, I thought it was
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
whole
You- are you
statement
with
with
me now?
apples and pears stairs.
No, 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 no,
Like,
no, no,
okay,
no, no,
well.
no, 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 no. So, and if I said he's on the stick and bone,
Okay.
little guess. He's on the stick and
he's
bone.
on a horse.
No, come on now. It's got a rhyme,
no.
Mazel. It's got a
Oh.
rhyme.
Oh, He's on the phone?
Yay! There you go.
Oh my god, I'm learning. I'm learning. I'll be cockneyed in a blink of a second.
Yeah, you're getting there. Away from Cockney rhyme for a second. W have pretty good setup around this dragon.
They do.
It all
I
fits
was wondering if we were ever going to talk about the game. I was down to keep talking about Cockney slang.
Ooh.
Shanks, he's going to use the Between Worlds, but dies as he tries to go through with the portal. Monkey gets his first kill of the game.
Yeah, very good play. They had the setup around the dragon, and Shanks just wasn't quite respecting the potential for a play. Taeyoon's going to have to flash that public execution. And now that's a flash he's not going to have to deal with a potential Tarzan engage. But the ultimates are kind of already gone, right?
That was bold.
From AL, I do agree. Very bold Ash Arrow.
It was a distraction. Distractionary tool. He's going to get the dragon.
They should just walk out.
Nature's Grasp, Monkey.
Okay.
He wanted the angle. Flandre's taking the fight. Flandre does a lot of damage. 3-man Cyclone right now. Tarzan's in the midst of it. He's going down, but he wants to take one with him. He will fall, but Hope will clean up after him. And now Jin still being untouched as Karis coming in over on the side. Fourth shot not going to be enough just yet, but AL, they're fighting this one out. And look at that damage done. Karis will fall to Flandre, and a triple kill comes away from the man in the top lane for the fighting in anyone's legend.
Mazel, it's all gone Pete Tong for WE. I'm not sure why they've made that decision. I'm going to be honest. They had the objective. They got the dragon.
They did,
Walk out.
yeah.
Walk out. It's as simple as that. AL don't really have any more tools to hard engage a fight. This is all WE's doing. They don't have to turn around here.
I mean, I guess they saw Hope. And Monkey wanted to go for the Zealous play onto him. They get a decent amount of damage down, but yeah.
It's just strange. You don't have
Dude,
you don't have the Vi ultimate. You don't have Asher anymore. Take the objective and leave, man. But hey, AL aren't gonna complain at all. Like you say, Cyclone's good. From Tarzan, finds 3 members, and it was enough to keep W in place for Flandre to
Another deadly
eventually
flourish
get
misses this fight. Hey, he hit one of them in the fight, so that's all that really matters. Honestly, it's starting to get to a point where the utility for Maokai is huge, but we've seen Ambessa run rampant through mid games in recent history, and I think Flandre is about to be trying to do exactly that. As Kael gets away from that one, and the arrow from Taeyoon.
Yeah. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. Far from. WE definitely struggling these last 2 plays, and the gold lead has grown on them as well. It's 3.5k now. And the Herald is up, so I think they're pretty happy to start this one knowing there's no Ash Arrow. And all they have to do is kind of just tank and survive the potential Vitalia at most.
Very true. I like this, though. WE still going for an angle. Still trying to push the tempo. As they're going to start up the Rift Herald, the Tempered Fate has gone in. TP has not been seen. Oh, Flandre has a hell of an angle. Monkey trying to go in. They do find Tarzan, but look at the angle.
Oh my God, Flandre.
He's going to get cussed blow, but Shanks found another flank, and Flandre cuts Taeyoon's life from his very grip, and now Cube will block most of the damage here as the curtain call had been utilized. Flandre still chasing, trying to go under turret. A couple pings going over to this objective. And that Rift Herald will be AL's.
Yeah, I mean, Flandre just rips apart the backline with AoE damage there. Initial engage from WE, not bad, but it's just really deep. And it's onto Tarzan. It's not to Hope or Shanks. Monkey just doesn't like the monkey, man. What else is there to say? Play
that next Tarzan movie is looking a little rough. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, here we see the TP comes in from Flandre on the backside, but Monkey, its engage is only really onto Tarzan, whilst Flandre not only locks Taeyoon in place, but shreds Karis at the same time, as in the picture-in-picture.
Okay, speaking of shredding Karis, Flandre getting a little bit of reprisal from him, but Tarzan and a deadly flourish connecting from Hope will secure this side lane pick right as rain, as we said, for AL.
All right, a few minutes ago I said it's all gone Pete Tong. Let's just go back to that for a second, because
Okay.
I think I have a sneaking suspicion about this game, Mazel, and I don't think I even really need to
You wouldn't
to
say that
vocalize
it's because there's a 6,000 gold lead right now. You wouldn't say that. No, you don't think that's the reason.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't say that at all. All right, let's look at the replay. Let's see, just for a second before we go back to Pete Tong. Oh, actually, as a matter of fact, it's pretty contextual. It's all gone Pete Tong for WE. They're the one that made this play onto Flandre.
Wow, the fact that Flandre
you getting the
makes it out?
Here? Yeah, this is better for you.
I mean, look at this.
Oh,
That's so unfortunate.
It is that last bit of healing as well from Kael.
Yep.
That's the big difference maker.
Oh, that feels really bad. Still, though, can't fault WE for just trying things. If you weren't here for this entire series, you're wondering why is this so one-sided or why are things going so hell in a handbasket for WE. I think it is a situation we have to remind ourselves that this AL roster is looking to compete for the LPL at internationals. This team is trying to upset the likes of BLG, the top of the table, and WE have not shown us that. They're just trying to figure out what works for this team in their new iteration and in their new era.
Yep, seems to be the case. I will say I have liked today's version so far with Monkey in. They're at the very least far more willing and aggressive to in their playmaking. As speaking of, eyeing the idea of looking for a pick onto Hope, Kael.
A little bit. Okay. If they catch Kael, he's going to tempered fade by time. You have everybody heading this way. TP coming in. Kael will fall. Shanks maybe looking for an angle. Flandre has the flank, but all members of WE trying to escort themselves out of this side of the jungle. Tarzan finds Monkey, just immediately cyclones him, trying to catch him out as they've started at a cot. I feel like we're just snowballing into all kinds of stuff here.
Flandre's off on the side as well. This is not great for WE. They're unaware. They see him now on that sweep up.
Okay, Flandre just goes for the public execution, hits Vampire of all people because nobody was behind him. 800 plus smackaroos going to WE, and now it's feeling like WE's momentum is kicking into gear. Hope gets locked down. Cube showing that beautiful utility that this Maokai brings, and Hope is just a Jin. There's no running away from that. WE have turned this game on its head.
Okay. That's a card secured. No one dies. If I'm to be... What's the negative one? Is it glass half full or glass half empty? Mazel, help me before I sink.
Glass half full?
WE did have to blow a lot of flashes for that play. And more specifically, Taeyoon, Cube, Bucket. It's a lot of playmaking, like potential kind of...
Okay. I like it.
But Atacon buff is going to give them so much freedom to kind of just do what they want. Like you say, Flandre, no one behind. I mean, he is aiming for... Maybe if Taeyoon doesn't flash, it connects. You know, there's definitely a world where that connects. But the rundown is good. Braum, all the utility from the CC is good. Picture in picture, you can see good usage of the Atacon already. As might have to snap out of this replay. We do, but W are able to walk away and they get that tier 1 tower for free.
They did. A little bit dicey there, but they still have the Atacon GAs on multiple members to utilize. So let's take stock here, Jamada. We've been talking about Cockney accents and talking about what this game matters.
We still haven't gotten your guess.
We still haven't gotten it. I'm guessing things are going wrong.
Yeah,
Bam. Look at that. It's like I can learn. It's like I have a small brain. As I think WE have a real chance. I mean, yes, they have the Atacon buff now. For another 45 seconds, they can play very zealously. But this composition excels when you can single target focus, and they've been doing that so well.
That they have.
Monkey's going in there.
Yeah,
okay.
Monkey,
they have 30 seconds left on the GA. They can fight this one. Big one, as now it's already Monkey going down. Tarzan trying to get over onto the back line. Now Shanks trying to kite his way around from Karis. As now Kael is there too doing some work. Curtain Call has been unleashed. Flandre is buying so much time right now for AL. Oh, they got stuck. That was beautiful from Kael. As now Shanks is low but not going down. Cube, the last remaining member, will be sent back to the fountain. Atacon GAs are down.
Good stuff from AL, and again, have to highlight the bot pick. It's doing a lot of work here in this game 2 of the series. Was R5 and Tarbate allowing that freedom to his support player is paying dividends here, as that play was very, very aggressive, but it makes sense. You got the outcome buff, you want to use it. Mazel, I'm hashtag noticing a particular pattern between 2 particular junglers who seem to be pressing their buttons on each other almost religiously. It's at quite a devout level, in fact. It's you know, they just can't seem to help themselves. Monkey again ults Tarzan. That's what kicks off this entire play. Kael's stuns back to back were pivotal in making sure that AL could strip away those Atacon GAs. And now that they're off, Dragon's up in 15 seconds. And WE, yet again, it's not the first time we've said this series, have set up around the objective.
And the fact that Dragon number 3 is on the table for Team WE would give them a lot of decision-making priority around the Rift as well. You know, that's got to be nice with a comp like they have. I mean, Cube is really coming into his own on this Maokai as well.
He is.
We were looking at a little bit of a fight there.
I thought we were. But again, the utility of composition cannot be understated. Just wondering if Monkey was going to press his R key again on Tarzan. Seems quite on site so far. These lot are they're not happy with one another. Like you said, man. Tarzan, it's the Disney stuff.
It is. It's literally Phil Collins got bangers coming out, no doubt. Monkey actually goes over the wall. Weaver's wall has been utilized as well. They actually have Tarzan locked down completely. It's the reverse of the original Tarzan movie. In this one, WE are getting eviscerated now. Flandre is in a 1v3 fight right now, and he's looking a little bit spicy, trying to get away. Can't do it. Now Hope and Shanks, the rear guard, are coming up to make the difference. Karis is trying to save Cube, but Cube has no way out. A big heal, though, from the passive. Hope is cooking. Another shot, trying to save Kael. Splitting his damage right now as Cube is doing massive work. Cube, he wants the healing. 4 shots the charm, and Hope will take down the tree.
Oh, man, it was almost the Jin versus Tanks moment there for a second. Cube was so damn tanky. So much artificial healing and shielding from the items, right? Well, it's not artificial, it's real, but artificial HP through the shields, and goodness me, that could have been made a far bigger mess for AL than it ended up being. Dragon wasn't taken down though, so
no, just the blood.
Dragon Fight 2 Electric Boogaloo coming up soon, I'm sure. Again, the trend continues, Mazel, of junglers pressing ults on each other. Taeyoon gets rooted. Hit, not actually quite with the Ambassador ult, but certainly with the Jin art, and just dies. Right? Does not get to play the game. And that was one of the worries I had about the Ashe being picked specifically into the Wukong Aurora. Now this time it's the other champions that make Taeyoon's life miserable. But let's just get a look here. It's below 1k HP for so long. 500, 355. That one was from
Unending
Despair, I think.
They're on the wrong side of town. Big between worlds. Is it going to be enough for AL? They need to pepper in this damage. Tempered Fate has come down in the middle of the fight. WE are scrambled like the eggs that they were made from. And that is 2 kills going over to Flandre, and maybe even the game win.
Yeah, it's that game. I mean, they've got a mid wave. It's 3 members dead. Cubes being held, Monkey's resetting bot. I think this is it. I think this is just game
Just
2.
win the game off of that single fight.
Yep.
WE are going to be kicking themselves here. They were looking so good. They had won that last fight. And off the back of that, AL take it, reverse slam them, and now put them on match point. 2-0 lead for anyone's legend.
Wow. What a strangely back and forth game just for it to end abruptly.
Just like that. Just like that, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, strange ending to game 2, but hey, an entertaining series so far, it has to be said, right? Despite the expectations we've been talking about, AL still getting to the destination that we so much guessed, but wow.
Yeah.
W are putting up a huge fight. Really huge
It feels
fight.
so bad when Monkey is actually having good angles, when Cube on the Maokai, who had a terrible time for most of that game, had massive impacts in the later parts. It just felt like they needed some time, but AL knew that, and they just went for the finish.
Yeah. Great.
You got a Cockney accent thing for that one?
Oh. No, I'll have to give it a think. I'm not the Cockney out of all of the family members. I'm the only one that didn't really grow up in East London. Yeah, I'm the outside North and South for me, unfortunately.
What a game, though, man. What a game. Like, we are seeing the little bits of, like, what could possibly happen with this WE team, but
it doesn't look that bad. You know, it doesn't look that bad for WE. Like, at the very least, it feels like improvement. And I know we're always going to be very critical of teams, even when they're doing poorly, and we can be very critical of WE. But I think it's like a read the room plus like context thing here, right? AL are probably just the best team. Read the room plus it's a context thing. This AL team is very damn good. They're the best team in the group. W have struggled. They brought in a substitute in their final series, and the sub is working, right? The game looks significantly more competitive than it probably would have done without Monkey here today, to be honest. So, I also hope this, and we'll probably talk about it post-series, but I do hope that Monkey is like he's here for longer than this series. If W are going to make any changes.
Boy, Tianzhen, man, what happened to him?
Look, that brother. Ooh, Mazel, don't get me started.
Don't you dare put this slander on him, alright?
I love Tianzhen as much as the next guy, but if Rengar's not involved, bro, it's
not just the Rengar.
Look, if Rengar's not involved, look.
He's not even here. Let's not talk about
yeah, he's not here today. And you're seeing why. AL, it has to be said, it's a lot scrappier than it should be, and I wonder how much of that just comes down to the matchup of, hey, W are struggling, less, we're not like locked in, this isn't top esports, this isn't any of the other teams. Not to be disrespectful to WE, but this is what happens. Like, when you play against the team that is, on the struggling end, then you're on the higher end of the table, some liberties are going to be taken that perhaps you wouldn't take against some of the higher competitors, and you can see in the gold graph, right? They had a 6-ish thousand gold lead. They threw a little bit. They're not playing as cleanly as we would maybe expect from them, but also it is credit where credit is due. WE are throwing some pretty, big swingers to AL, and they're getting shaken a bit. Even if, AL still as clinical as they need to be.
They just got a damn good draft, man. I don't know. When your first three are Aurora, Wukong, and Bessa, not only are you denying those powerful picks from the rest of the series because this is Fearless, you're also just giving it to some of the best performing players in the league right now. So you love to see them capitalize on that one, but they were set up for success from Tabe in that draft, for sure.
Yeah, they really were. They really were. And again, I can't stress enough the importance of actually making R5 a relevant pick. Instead of just handshaking, make R... If you, as a you know what? I'm talking to all coaches right now. You have R5
directly at him.
directly to you. You have R5, and you make your top laner pick like Maokai or Sion, or oh, enemy support is playing Braum. I think I'm just gonna pick engage anyway, or I'm gonna go like,
okay.
oh, enough. Something that breaks the game. It's so much better. It's so much better for the game state overall. This is a case study for it. This is a case study for it, right? It's not just top.
Okay, this is the case study. This is what all you needed.
Yeah, this is what we need. Sorry for banging the desk. I'm passionate. I hope it wasn't too.
All you
loud
coaches,
better
watch.
All the coaches
watch out.
though,
Better watch it.
watching you.
Better watch it.
Who's gonna get MVP for game 2?
Yeah, who do you think it is?
Is my question, because I think it should be Kael. But whenever a support is in question, unfortunately, unless it's so night and day that it can only be the support, one of the damage dealers ends up getting it.
I think Kael deserves it.
Kael, it's not a conversation. Kael does deserve it, but we know what happens with the LPL MVP.
Hey, we've had some wild support MVPs in these first couple weeks of the LPL. All right, like some MVPs for supports that maybe should have been in the conversation, but it happens. It happens all the time. We'll see who ends up getting it. I just feel like this was. Yes, some moments where you could say, AL, why are you not looking as clean? You can say that about game number 1 as well. But they were still able to take the win, and it was a little bit scrappy. But these are the kinds of things you want to see from an AL. You want to see that they can maybe play a little bit more loosely and still find the ends. And when it came down to execution, though, when it came down to a lot of these team fights, you could tell the difference, right? Like, it just felt like AL knew where everything was happening, where they needed to put their center around and kind of push their mass forward, where a lot of times for WE, things were getting a bit scattered, things were getting a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, right. At the end of the day, the coordination difference between the two teams was still very much present. Has to be said, I love the aggression from Monkey, the general... how do I say this politically? The way in which he commands WE to follow his engages is something to be... very, very
don't want to know what other words you were thinking of there. We'll just move forward.
The way that he's made WE play today in terms of how aggressive he plays has been a very nice sight to see. That said, did Tarzan say something in the pre-game lobby? Were there perhaps words actually exchanged?
He was hoping Shanks
face to face. Well, it can't be. It can't be. Because Monkey refused to press R on basically anyone but Tarzan that game. So, yeah, some strange. It's Kael, right?
Flandre, my goat. I mean, he did take some wild fights, man. He literally was what was separating WE away from the rest of the team in a lot of cases. Just saying. Look at the tape, man. Look at the tape. Oh my goodness! Well, we got Jamada balding.
An investigation needs to happen, man.
Maybe you'll go spend your. Maybe you'll go ahead and spend your break doing that. I guess to some extent. But thank you all for tuning in for game number 2. We're gonna send it away to a little break before game number 3. See if WE can find a way back into this one. Find their first game win of the LPL before they say